Hey guys, it's Ray from Go Spurs Go Memes, and I'm here just to kind of tell you guys that podcast number 7 is actually pre-recorded. That's why there is no news in it, and the reason for that is that we're actually taking the week off. We want to say congratulations to Buddy the Engineer that will be getting married this week, so we'll be live but recorded once again for podcast number 8. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Have a great one. Talk to you soon. Well, and welcome to the Go Spurs Go Memes podcast number 7, live but recorded from the Go Spurs Go Memes Network studios. I am your host, Ray. I am joined today by Jack the Intern and Buddy the Engineer. How's it going, guys?
Another day in paradise.
Heck yeah. You doing well, buddy?
Oh, yeah. I'm amazed. It's like it almost feels like I'm a week in time. I haven't been able to figure it out yet.
And maybe so. Anyways, so of course, what we have happening right now in Spurs land, I should say, is we have a preseason game coming up on the 8th. They're going to be taking on the Sacramento Kings. So what I kind of want to talk about is our preseason expectations of the Spurs. So we got 2 games coming up. We have one on the 8th versus the Kings and then one on the 12th versus the Heat. So what are your expectations? Spurs just coming out of camp. They still have their full roster right now. They got to get down to 15 by the time the season tips off on the 27th. So what are your expectations right now for the Spurs going in against the Kings?
I would honestly say no one plays more than 20 minutes a game. And you see a lot of different lineups, a lot of different matchups, who plays well, who can carry their own. You'll see that all 3 towers together, I think, just to see how that goes. Here's just hoping that everybody stays healthy.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing for me as well, is that I want to make sure that everyone's healthy. So I could care less if Tim plays it all. Let Tim, Tony, Manu just sit down, let everyone else play. I really want to see all the new guys on the team just kind of mesh into the system. I want to see how Aldridge does. I don't want him out there for a long time. I just want to see how he does in the system. I want to see how David West does as well. Buddy, what do you think?
I'm really interested in seeing the newer parts more than I am in seeing the staples that we've been seeing for the last several years. I think that as little that you can play Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan in the preseason, you're going to get what you get out of them, and no matter what way you go about it. And judging from the way that I saw Parker during the FIFA finals, he still didn't look right to me. I mean, his shot was still sort of off balance.
He just didn't seem himself. He still kind of looked like. He wasn't injured, so he wasn't injury prone, but he kind of was playing like he had just come back from an injury, if that makes any sense.
Right. He didn't seem like in sync at all. And I mean, mind you, you're playing for a national team. You're probably not practicing with them that much. But I had to say that Diaw seemed more in sync than Parker did. And then
Tony missed tons of shots as well. Tons of shots.
He really was a detriment to them, even though at points he was scoring for them, a lot, especially in the Spain game. But, going back to what we were talking about, to me, I think the most important thing is to see how the newer parts are going to work. The things that I'm really interested in seeing as far as like how they work is going to be seeing how Jimmer Fredette, Simmons, and West are going to work in the newer systems, especially for
Jimmer.
I know, we're all excited.
We're all pro Jimmer. Jimmer Mania is going to sweep San Antonio. I want him so bad to get that spot.
I'm really, really expecting good things out of Jimmer Fredette. I think that in the system, he can be an asset, similar to what, in my mind, and this is what I'm hoping for, what Steve Kerr was to us when we bought him over. Not somebody who's like a big ball handler guy, but somebody who can make the timely shot, maybe be the more basketball-minded person. That's what I'm expecting out of Fredette. But we'll see. He hasn't been able to catch on with any team, and I'm sort of thinking that maybe other people tried to use him at this point, but this way, and he wasn't successful. We'll see. Simmons, we saw him in Summer League. He was excellent.
Burst of energy, just
he was fantastic.
Everywhere on the floor, defense, offense.
I'm wondering how they're going to utilize him, whether he's going to be an everyday player or whether he's going to be, your 14, 15 guy, and he still can learn either way. And then West, of course, I want to see how they want to utilize West in the packages, like if they're going to use him primarily as the power forward or whether they'll go like a real small lineup and keep him as a center, mind you, and seeing how that goes about as well. And then watching, of course, the one thing that I'm really, really looking for is going to be Aldridge. I really want to see how he performs.
And I kind of want to see what happens with the Spurs system. Now having Aldridge and West, the one thing that the Spurs will have now that they really didn't have before is this amazing mid-range shot. And so that's really going to change a lot of things for the Spurs. It's going to open up more drives to the basket for Tony. I think it's going to open up more three-point shots for Danny and Patty. So it'll be really interesting to see how well the Spurs do now having this other arsenal of David West and LaMarcus Aldridge with these amazing mid-range jumpers. The other thing that I'm looking forward to, you kind of mentioned some of the new players. One person that we haven't talked about at all, which we didn't bring up in the last podcast either, is that there was a surprise on the training camp roster. The Spurs actually did sign Rizzo Butler. That kind of came out of nowhere. I had reported earlier in the summer that the Spurs were interested. They had conversations with him, and then it just kind of went dead silent. Didn't see anything anywhere. Checked with my sources. Nobody had any info on Butler with the Spurs. And then we get to training camp media day. They release that roster, and Butler's there. And so I was kind of happy to see him on there, but at the same time, back of my head, I was kind of like, I don't like Butler being there because I want Jimmer on the roster. So there's one spot left. It's basically a six-man battle for that spot. It's Jimmer, Butler, Deshaun Thomas, who am I missing? Indoy, Reggie Williams, and I know I'm missing one more guy. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But it's a six-way battle for that spot. I still believe that they're going to waive Reggie Williams eventually. Indoy is not going to get that spot. The kid from Green Bay, Wisconsin, is not going to get the spot. That's the guy I missed. I just can't think of his name off the top of my head. It's really going to come down to Butler and Jimmer. The other thing that I'm really interested in seeing what happens is that those six people are not the only players on roster that have non-guaranteed deals. Mind you, Fredette has a partial guarantee. He actually is going to get paid at least $500,000 for training with the Spurs. So that's a great thing for him. But there's another person on the Spurs roster that has a non-guaranteed deal, Matt Bonner. Now, as I've said from the beginning, I was not a fan of Matt Bonner. I still am not a fan of Matt Bonner. I don't think that the Spurs should have signed him. I really think they should have just let him go, and it would have opened up another spot. So, while it's not expected, there is a possibility that the Spurs decide, you know what, we're going to waive Bonner. Maybe we bring him back, and we bring him back as a coach, kind of like a Sean Marks, which I think would be really good for the Spurs and for the fans because we would still have Bonner around. But that would give us two spots to take Butler and Fredette.
I think the thing with Bonner is a good point. I think he's played out his welcome in San Antonio. Not the fact that he's not a fan favorite and he can't be an asset to the Spurs organization going forward in the future, right? I can see him as an assistant coach, but I really see him more as a front office personality. I really don't see him like in a coaching aspect. I really think that his media relations and how he builds relationships with people.
You make a great point.
I think that that's where they're going to use him and utilize him ultimately. And if they promise, say, hey, look, Bonner, we're going to waive you, but look, you have a place here in our organization every day, all day. You know, you can come back and you can do whatever you want to here. More than likely, we're going to put you on the player personnel side or some kind of like a media relation kind of personnel.
Exactly.
That's where he fits in that system. But we need that other spot, and I'm failing to understand why exactly they've kept that spot for him. And other than the fact that maybe they just wanted to keep it as a placeholder on the off chance that they couldn't find somebody who fit the system the way they wanted to. And I'm thinking that they're taking chances. In other words, it's always better to have more options than it is to have less options.
Yeah, and I think Butler and Jimmer are great options for the Spurs to have. I mean,
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it really is. Butler is an amazing veteran. One of the reasons why the Spurs signed him is because of the fact that he was basically helping the younger players. Like they saw that relationship of this veteran showing these younger players how to play, what to expect, and that's why the Spurs signed him. Great pickup by the Spurs. He also shoots like 38% from three-point land, So that would be a great addition to the roster. But then you also have Jimmer Fredette, who, has traveled the NBA, hasn't really meshed well into a system, went from Sacramento, played in Chicago, ended up in New Orleans. Then nobody wanted him. Spurs come calling. He was surprised by it. He wasn't expecting the Spurs to come and say, hey, we want to sign you. Here's a partially guaranteed deal. Come to camp with us. So he's taken this opportunity and is really pushing to get that last spot. He went and hung out with Chauncey Billups in Denver. So in the offseason, Fredette actually lives in Denver. Chauncey Billups does a training camp out of Denver. Told Jimmer, come on out, work on whatever you want. Jimmer had already been signed by the Spurs. He said, here's a whole practice that the Spurs want me to run. It's a shooting practice. And, I don't know if you saw it the other day or not, but I actually posted on Go Spurs Go memes showing everybody this awesome shooting practice that the Spurs gave him. And he hit 82 out of 100 three-pointers. That's absolutely insane. And I get excited seeing that because it kind of seems like he's getting his touch back. And, it's a full up drill from the NBA. There's no pauses in between. He's basically moving, running from spot to spot. Balls being passed to him. He's jumping up and shooting, and he's hitting them. So I think that's a really exciting thing to see. Again, another reason why I'm pro Jimmer.
I think ultimately, I think you hit it right on the spot. I think that if Fredette is able to fit into the system the correct way, that what we need him to be, he can be an invaluable asset. But Fredette has always been this person who needs to fit in a system. He's not somebody who can create his own shot. He's not somebody who can beat anybody on defense. He's one of these people who just fits into a system that you need a timely shot, you come off a screen, and this is what you notice this, you go back to that video that you were talking about, right? The video that you were talking about in particular was where you see him coming off of screens, coming off of curls, where he shoots the quick, like 1-2 step drop, and then he shoots the ball, and it's something really quick. It's a timing thing more than it is anything about where he has to drive and come up with something creative and things like that, which that's not his game.
No.
And so, but if he's consistent on that, so when it comes to the pressure time, and then you got to see if he's able to do that under pressure, then that's the thing where it's going to.
And here's the question. Here's the question too, guys: is that Fredette is a point guard? He's a point guard. So we already have 3 other point guards on the roster. We have Parker, of course. Patty Mills is backup, and then we have Ray McCallum. Do the Spurs need a 4th point guard?
I don't think that they're going to utilize him as a point, though. I think they'll use him as an undersized guard in some kind of package.
Shooting guard?
I can't see that they're going to try to make somebody like him, again, somebody who, while his basketball IQ might be good, I can't see that they're going to want to teach him to be the point to try to run a system and still be a good shooter and come off of curls and things like that and make the quick shot. I think that what they're trying to do is maybe make him an undersized type of Danny Green type of person. Maybe not so much defensively, but somebody who's the time
Gary Neal is basically what they're looking
at. There we go.
And he actually came out and said, I've been watching Gary Neal's tapes, so I know that this is exactly what the Spurs want to do with me. Like I said, he's all in on this. And this could very well be his last opportunity to be in the NBA. So he's being 100% serious with it. His shot looks great. I'm really hoping that the Spurs England will actually help him with a shot, get that touch back. Because if you go back and look at those tapes when Jimmer Mania was taking over college basketball, it was absolutely insane to see how crazy he had BYU. To this day, and here's another interesting thing, and I appreciate the support and everything, there are so many BYU fan pages and actually sites from like Rivals and stuff like that actually started following Go Spurs Go memes because I started doing things on Jimmer Fredette. So that's actually a pretty cool thing to have people from BYU and actually PR people from BYU following us on Go Spurs Go memes because they want to know more about Fredette because they're just as excited as we are about Fredette being here in San Antonio.
I think we come back to the thing where you're saying, like I said, I think you're right on as far as Fredette is concerned. I think with Butler in particular, and I think this is what you might be seeing is there's sort of a pressure kind of thing going on here, right? Where you see basically, look, it's you guys are all competing against each other. Whoever plays the best basically in preseason has got the spot. And I think they're just putting them all under the gun at this point. They're going to fit them into whatever way. Butler's always been this kind of guy who's like a journeyman who fits into a system in one way, shape, or form, but he's undersized at the position that he's at. He's not horrible, but he's not the most consistent person of all time, right?
Right. Well, but the good thing too is like with both Butler and Fredette is that you get 2 quality people because I do consider them to be quality players.
Yes.
But you get them both for veteran minimums. That is the best thing ever. The Spurs only have to pay like $940,000 to keep both of them. So that's a great steal for them because they're 2 players that can contribute right away. I kind of worry about the Spurs taking on another older athlete, as in Butler. He's 36 years old. But, I mean, his experience being a veteran, I think it really would help the team. But the question is, does he fit into the Spurs rotations?
Right, and this just goes back to the argument I'm saying is that you put in another guy who, again, older for one. Number 2, maybe a little bit slower now because he's a little bit older as well.
Right.
And number 3, which is the thing that I have the biggest hang up on, he's undersized for his size. If he's slow and he's smaller, right, how exactly is he going to fit into the Spurs' hyper-defensive schemes and things like that?
Yeah, he's 6'7", 215 out of LaSalle, 36 years old. He is a small forward, so he is kind of undersized for that position. But speaking of all these players that we want to see. I know we've spent a lot of time talking about Jimmer and Butler, but I'm really excited to see Boban Marjanovic.
Yes,
I cannot wait to see the Jolly Green Giant come out on that court. I've said it last week, not last week, the week before. I said I want to see Boban, Aldridge, and Timmy on the floor at the same time. Why the hell not throwing Boris in there as well? just
And
have
just
these
watch
huge
teams
guys.
look at them like, are you really kidding me?
Yeah, but speaking of Boban, I think the one thing that they're already seeing is that he just doesn't have speed,
Right.
and that's a concern. Can he keep up with these NBA athletes? He can stay right under the basket and get easy points, but can he do transition defense? Can he get back in time to stop all these crazy athletes that can basically dunk over him if they wanted to? So I think he's in for a surprise. So it'll be interesting to see if he just stays with the Spurs all season, because you got to remember, he's a rookie. It's his first year in the NBA. So there is potential for him to be sent up to Austin and play in D-League for a little bit just to get used to the game if he's not ready.
I think that one thing about Marjanovic as well is he has he's sort of an all or nothing kind of thing right now at this point in my mind.
Right.
He can be a great defensive presence based upon his size, and I've seen in some videos of his play overseas. He's an intimidating presence when he's around
huge.
the basket. I mean, it's insane how you see a short guy trying to come against him and he just basically has his hands up. It's like running into a wall. It's one of the most hilarious things that you can ever see. But the sad thing is that when you're watching him come off off of screen rolls, and then you see him moving laterally side to side, sweet Jesus, he's slow.
He's very slow.
And it just worries me to no end, because I can just see him getting beat off a dribble, and I'm just see Popovich just pulling his hair out, just losing his mind.
And funny thing, another thing about Boban was Jack the intern was telling me earlier about this quote from Patty Mills that basically said at the end of what was it, Jack?
So he said the other day he put his hand up to give me a high five. This is Patty Mills talking for some interview. He says, I looked up at him like, dude, I just finished practice. Come on, man. Not after practice. He could put his hand all the way down and it would still be a high five for me.
Yeah, he's big boy. Excited to see him. I can't wait. And of course, like I said, we have the Kings on the 8th, and then we go to the Heat. We still got a little bit of time before the Spurs come home for their first preseason game at the brand new AT&T Center.
Tickets are cheap.
How are the tickets looking, Jack?
Less than $10 on StubHub. You got the October 18th game versus Detroit. Tickets for $7.
Wow.
And the where's the other one? The October 20th versus Phoenix, tickets from $6.
Great.
Go to a Spurs game.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much, Jack. We'll be back in a bit. Bonnie Clyde, open wide. You don't know DJ Lil Man?
Lil Man?
Lil Man.
I'm sorry, I don't know many DJs.
Rock, side, slip. 1, 2, 3, now left, back, right, back, up, back.
Oh,
down,
what do I have?
back,
What's the most
Look out
obscure
for
thing
the
I
big
have?
girls, now bang, bang, bang.
Boom, boom. Yeah.
How do you not know DJ Little Man? Okay, let's see what else I got.
Because I'm pretty tall.
So we're doing on the fly right now, guys. We're just kind of playing the music that we have on our phones because we got into a discussion about the obscure music that we have on our phones. So that was DJ Lil Man. And I think the song is Team Little Man, something like that. But it's a really funny song, so I started playing it.
Have you ever heard of the Ka'au Crater Boys?
What's that?
It's they
Gaga,
are
Gaga.
this is the best of album.
Okay.
Let's see if we can play this.
I don't know what this is, but it sounds like I'm going to Hawaii.
Coincidentally,
Who is going to Hawaii very soon?
oh hey, wait a minute, we're going to Hawaii.
To the sea. I wish that you
You
were
were here with me.
Did you see? You haven't seen Inside Out yet, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, you got to see it before because of the little video that's before it, Lava, because it has a song like this
Lava
that's
You.
really good. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, wait. Let me see if I can find.
What do you got? What do you got, buddy?
Wait, hang on. I am trying to pull up my little spot.
Because if you don't, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go into, buddy.
You know,
Wait,
Maroon
no,
5. Do you
no,
like
wait.
Maroon 5?
there you go.
Fuck you.
What? Really? You're gonna drop the F bomb? Really?
Oh,
For
I can do that.
Coldplay?
Here.
Oh, we can beat that.
We got the mark.
Oh.
Okay, I've got mine.
Start the head banging. Yeah. This is Coldplay's hardest song.
I forgot this is. Oh.
Okay, I got it.
Wait,
Well, we're doing Coldplay right now, buddy.
Everybody knows this song.
Lights go out and I can't be saved.
Shut up.
Try to swim again.
Shut up.
Hold me down upon my knees.
Please.
Oh, I beg,
We're losing
and
listeners.
please sing it.
Oh my god.
now, things unsaid.
And we're just singing because Frank can't stand Coldplay.
No, I can't. I've realized
Okay,
that.
I'm stopping.
I used to say,
Okay,
you know
I'm
what, the
stopping
band,
Coldplay.
they're very,
Okay,
very skilled and everything, but then the more I start analyzing them, I'm like, they do not play a fast song. Do you
No, they
remember-
don't. Everything's
Okay.
pretty slow.
This is obscure. They're no longer
Very
a band.
obscure. Okay, buddy, play your song.
There we go.
Because Frank and I keep playing everything.
There we go.
Oh, it's your turn. Go. Oh, I know this. That's not obscure to me.
Well, it's not obscure to you. It's obscure to everybody else.
I don't know what song that is.
Oh, my bad.
There's
my
no
bad.
way you
Oh,
would know who this is.
What are you playing?
Sweet Jesus, what is that?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, this one. Okay, Frank, what is it?
That is Pat Metheny.
Okay, which song is it?
As is.
That's pretty good, actually. How do we go from
And you're talking about profanity.
how do we go from classy
What?
this for this to that?
It's somebody's birthday right now. Right now, right now. You know, on my birthday, when we go to the bars and we get really drunk, I always make the DJ play the song because it's my birthday.
Ooh, I got violent
Yeah.
stems.
Can't go wrong with Trey Songs.
No, I got
Yes,
you.
you
I got
can.
you.
Yes, you can
No,
go
you
over Trey
cannot
Songz.
go wrong with Trey Songs.
Or we can
Oh,
go.
you want to know another guilty pleasure of mine? The only woman to ever make me cry. Can you guess who this is?
That's got to.
The only woman to ever make me cry in a concert.
No idea.
Lady Gaga?
No, it's not Lady Gaga.
Well, you're asking the question, so. Celine Dion?
it's Celine
Oh,
Dion.
my
Celine
God.
Dion. Oh, that's your guilty pleasure.
That's my guilty pleasure.
That
I love
is
Celine
definitely-
Dion.
You want to know what I listen to?
Like
my
you
own.
did before.
Oh my God,
Okay, my turn. My
Okay,
turn.
go.
Go for it.
Like, here we go. This is what I listen to in the car.
Yeah.
Are you going really fast when you play that?
No.
No,
I feel like I have
You're
to
just
be
going.
listening.
I have one ticket.
You're not even going like 2 RPMs on your in your Corolla.
I've got what is it called? Deferred disposition.
Disposition, yeah.
And I've got up until November.
This guy was worried he was going to get thrown in jail if he went over to go get his ticket. He's never gotten a
Do you
ticket.
guys like Andrea Bocelli?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, he's blind.
He is, but a voice.
But
on
he
him.
has a voice like an angel.
He really does have a voice like an angel.
You know, every time I
That
hear
was not
that song and him singing that song, I think of the
Will
Elmo.
Ferrell?
No, I think of the Elmo thing. He did that song with Elmo in a Sesame Street.
Well, I think of Blades of Glory with.
No, you're talking about Step Brothers.
Well, no. If you watch Blade of Glory,
It's
in
in
the very
there?
beginning when they find Jimmy McElroy, he's ice skating to this in front of the nuns.
That's right. That's right. Oh my goodness.
Sound just like Sarah Brightman.
You got anything to add?
Jack, you got anything to add to this? Because
Oh, wait,
we're gonna keep going.
I'm not gonna touch this.
No.
Okay, let's see if anybody knows who this is. Okay, wait. We got to get to the singing part first.
Is
This girl?
Does the
she's
name start with
fantastic.
the? Oh, it's.
I don't know what song
I was
that
gonna
is.
say
Wait, give it a
Josh
second.
something.
Oh,
Who's that? Is that Taylor Swift?
No, it's
Martina McBride?
Good God, no.
No, I'm just throwing out country singers. Reba. It's Reba.
It's Reba McIntyre.
It's not Katy Perry.
Colby Kelly.
Colby Kelly. Oh, okay.
Oh, I wouldn't have gotten that.
I wouldn't have gotten that either. Okay,
She
look at
sings
this.
with Jason Mraz.
Blast from the 90s.
Shut up.
Don't like that. So the way that's written. Are you getting these?
You know this song,
Are they
right?
showing up?
You know this song, right?
Oh, come on, that's zombies.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the Cranberries. Come on.
Oh no, I've got one. You want to talk
What?
guilty pleasure?
Go for it.
Go.
No one will get. Well,
What the hell's that? Why do you have this stuff on your phone?
You scare me when you have things like that on there. You know that, right?
Jesus.
this doesn't make you smile.
No.
It's called the Smile Song.
It doesn't make me smile. Okay, here we go. Guilty pleasure. That's not a guilty pleasure. That's not me, by the way.
And you're worried about
up.
F-bombs.
I know what that is.
What?
Whoa.
Sadly enough,
Why
I
did
know
your phone
exactly
keep
what that
playing
is.
No, I keep touching.
Bottoms up, bottoms up.
Oh my god.
This is
What you
actually
can't
one
see
of the
right now is
worst
Frank
songs.
dropping it like it's hot.
This is actually one of the worst songs ever written. Actually,
I am whipping it
This
out.
one,
Yes.
this is a good song.
I am
According to
Nene.
who?
It's Trey Songz and Nicki. You can't go wrong with Trey and Nicki.
Sweet Jesus. Okay, look, it's just to make you guys drive you crazy. Here we
This
go.
is
Ready?
the
Ready?
worst
Here we
episode.
go. This is to drive you crazy.
It's kind of funny, actually.
I'm having fun. Oh, well, of course, everybody has this.
Punch me in my face. Punch my face, bit my breast.
For everybody knows, I remember when you sang this karaoke at Oyster
That's
Bay.
right, dude. That's right. Oh,
And
God, that
when
was
it
a
came
long
to the F-bomb, you put your hands over the mic and just move over. Take pies.
time. Now that you hear it now, you can understand what he's saying. Okay,
Now, audience at home, tell us, was that Frank or Eddie Vedder? Because you really
you
can't
know
tell the
that.
difference there.
Oh man, we need.
Oh, and this is a good one too. Let's see.
Do the hump, the hump. Dude, why do you have that?
Why wouldn't I have that?
Sweet Jesus, what are you doing with
Like my
that?
legs were broken. Whatever happened to?
Well, he was in town recently.
Do you remember?
You still got the nose?
I don't know.
I thought it was
didn't go
his
see
real
him.
nose.
No,
I know
it's
he
not
was
his
here.
real
And I have tons of
Obvious.
Broadway music on my phone.
Oh, geez. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that we played in band.
Can you guess what song that is?
Hang on. Wait.
Pearl
Don't-
Jam,
Wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Foo Fighters.
Nope, you're close, but
It's not Foo Fighters, dude.
Nirvana. How was that? Courtney Love? No.
no, it's the Broadway version
It's a,
of a band.
Oh, Green Day.
Yes, good
Yeah.
job, Frank.
it's
You know, okay.
It's
We
got it.
Yeah, we went
but
and
the
saw
song
this. We saw the play,
Yeah, we saw the show.
and the play was
what's the
Average.
It was the
Green Day play. It was-
American
it was
Idiot.
American Idiot.
that's
Yeah,
right.
and I was glad I was there, but I don't think it was because of the play.
It's sort of strange how that one got how it made a play out of that one.
The show was pretty good. It was all right. The music was really good. Like, this is really cool because there's a band backing her up, like violins and stuff.
I liked it more as a concert. They were basically cover
Yeah, it
bands. but,
really
like,
was
the
a concert.
Story, I don't. I just remember them
part.
like, putting their arms back and doing this, and bobbing their heads up there. See, I would get the soundtrack to that.
It's really good. You should.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
mean,
good.
because like I got to
Okay,
tell you, I
you turn that one on.
wasn't very satisfied up there.
21 guns. Let's see what else.
Are we gonna do this episode?
Yeah, we're gonna. Well, I mean, we're still doing this on the fly thing.
This is on the fly.
This is on the fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is technically.
And this is a guilty pleasure too. But it's a guilty pleasure because this is what they open up the Spurs games with.
Oh, yeah.
But after they've announced everybody and everyone's going nuts,
Thanks for bumping the mic.
let's see if you recognize it.
Wait, hang on. You gotta wait for the drop.
Yeah.
He's like, is he pushing it? Is he pushing it?
Almost.
Is it drop? I'm almost there. Oh yeah,
I actually don't know who this is.
it's not a drop. It's
They play it.
yeah.
It's
I've
a
heard the
Kid
song, but
Cudi, I
I-
think.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi. Okay,
Wait.
They play
No. It's Boneless. That's what it's called.
boneless,
Wait.
That's chicken.
I thought it was
dropless.
Dun, 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 dun. But it always reminds me of being at a
Okay,
Spurs
here's
game.
Don't give it.
wait.
Here's
Oh,
a
he's playing
guilty.
again.
We
here's
are
a guilty
playing
pleasure
basketball.
too. So Frank doesn't know I listen to this kind of stuff too, though. But let's see.
I don't know that you
I don't
listen
think
to
you
this.
know I listen to stuff like this. Come on. Okay. Well, oh, that is the most.
I got a bone to pick.
Anybody know who this is?
I don't want you monkey mouth motherfucker sitting in my throne again.
I have no idea who that is.
Wow.
I don't know. You're worried about f-bombs.
I know.
Oh, this guy just
We're
totally
gonna put
breaks
an
that.
explicit label on this one.
True friends.
Okay, wait to the chorus right here.
Is that?
Bitch, where you and I was fucking. Now I run again. Got the
I have no idea who that is.
King Kunta. Everybody wanna cut
You
the
listen to this?
King
yeah.
Kunti. What?
man taking no
King Kunta.
It's
That's what I heard.
Kendrick Lamar.
I was fucking.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
He's fantastic. This
I probably
album,
wouldn't have
if
gotten
you guys
that.
haven't heard this album, by the way, it's a fantastic album.
All right.
Yeah, Mr. Power that beat.
Anyways, guys, that was On the Fly. We'll be back in a bit.
sure.
All right, guys, now we're back with Kennedy doing her picks again for the second week in a row. So here we go. We'll start with the pros. The St. Louis Rams versus the Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers.
The New England Patriots or the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
The Denver Broncos or the Oakland Raiders.
The Denver Broncos.
The Buffalo Bills or the Tennessee Titans.
The Tennessee Titans.
The Pittsburgh Steelers or the San Diego Chargers.
The San Diego Chargers.
Okay, now we're going to go to college football. The Georgia Bulldogs or the Tennessee Volunteers.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
The Texas Longhorns or the Oklahoma Sooners.
The Texas Longhorns.
The Northwestern Wildcats or the Michigan Wolverines.
The Michigan Wolverines.
The Oklahoma State Cowboys or the West Virginia Mountaineers.
The Richmond Mountaineers. The Michigan Mountaineers.
Okay, you're going with the Mountaineers? Okay, the California Golden Bears or the Utah Utes?
The California Golden Bears.
Okay, that's it for week 2. We'll let you guys know how Kennedy did on her second week of picks.
And we're back. All right, guys, our next segment, we're going to kind of talk, we're kind of calling the segment Puro San Antonio. So we're basically just going to kind of talk about all the special things about our wonderful city that we live in. What are our favorite things about this city? You know, we're going to mention all sorts of stuff. So, Jack, what do you want to say about Puro San Antonio?
You know, like I said, I didn't grow up here. I moved here in 99. So I'm kind of new. I'm still getting used to it. But the thing that I loved about San Antonio when I first moved here was it still had that small town feel, but it was a big city. You know, growing up in Atlanta, I always had access to like all major sports, which was great to be able to go to a Braves game, a Falcons game, you know, the Hawks, whatever. And you get that here, but, you know, everyone loves the Spurs. The Spurs are great, but you still get baseball. You still get hockey. You can get good football, but it's all cheap.
Yeah,
that was really nice being in like minor league missions games, you know, Rampage games, you know, dollar nights,
dollar beer night.
Great. Besides that, I think food is probably the best thing that I like about San Antonio.
Well, we can go through a list of food in just a sec, but buddy, what do you want to add in?
Food. No, I'm just kidding. No. I have to say that like one of the best things about San Antonio. So I've lived in San Antonio my whole life, unlike Mr. Jack here. But I lived in Orlando for a year, and I think Frank, the producer, knows about this as well. And what's crazy about it is the people here are so much more and I don't know, and this might just be a complete like bias on my part, but the people here are so much more friendlier than they are in other places. Like in other places that I've been to Dallas, been to Houston, I've been to Hawaii, I've been to Florida, and everywhere that I've gone to, the people are not as nice everywhere else as they are here. And it's because, I don't know, it's just like maybe this sense of where everybody sort of wants to be like that person who tells you like they want to help you out or things like that. You go to some place to do any kind of thing. Like if you go to a store, if you go to a restaurant, things like that, they're always willing to help you and give you some kind of direction or something like that. And that's one of the things I like about it, the fact that we're a very well put together town. You know, for being such a big town, I have to say that, you know, our segment of our population is pretty well diverse but yet together. It's an interesting combination, I have to say.
Yeah, and I think that's an awesome thing too, because you really see that when it comes to the Spurs and how crazy and rabid our fans are. I know I got into a discussion on the Facebook page the other day about someone saying, you know, well, you can't talk trash as a Spurs fan because that's not our way, and I disagree with that. Because, you know, the fans that talk trash, the fans that don't, the ones that are humble, the ones that, you know, go all out, get dressed up to go to Spurs games. It's all the same thing. You know, everyone is here to support the Spurs, but we're all different. We have our own ways of celebrating that team and going to a game. When they win a title, you know, everyone goes downtown. It's the only city where no one is flipping over cars and lighting things on fire. You know, people are patiently in traffic. People are having a blast going downtown, walking in areas, the cops are even having a good time because this city knows how to celebrate. And of course, everyone says fiesta. You know, this city knows how to party because we do fiesta for 2 weeks every year. So we understand what a celebration is. But it's just so much different when it comes to a celebration for the Spurs, whether it's the River Parade, the march to the Alamo Dome, or just, you know, after they've won a title. Everyone is just being safe. Everyone's respectable. No one's being crazy. People are doing some silly things, of course, you know, like letting babies in diapers right on the tops of cars downtown and, you know, crazy things like that, sure. But what major city doesn't have crazy things like that going on? But, you know, this city is just so unique. And you really see that, just like you said, buddy, the friendliness of people. Jack, I know you've only been here, you know, less than 15 years, but I'm sure that you see it every day, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, so what else? What else about the city? What else is here in San Antonio that you can only get here in San Antonio?
Well, the food definitely. You know, and I, you know, we bring up the food all the time, but you know, this has to be the number one place for Mexican food, first, hands down. I mean, I pretty much can go to any corner of the south side, west side, or downtown and find some good Mexican food to where I can.
Hole in the walls are best.
The hole in the walls are definitely the best. That's for sure. I can't think of the last hole in the wall I went to. There's actually a hole in the wall that I found over off of West Military that used to be a Sonic and now is a Mexican restaurant that you see in that. That's a San Antonio thing right there.
It really is like they used to be old different businesses. Like used to be a Popeye's Chicken, now it's a taqueria. Mm-hmm. You know, but it's those places that have like the best tortillas, just the best everything. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't see it in New York where like, oh, that used to be Carnegie Hall, but now it's a Conocida.
Right, exactly. You know, and now they may not pass their tests and their, you know, quality reports and everything, but damn, are they so good?
Yes, I can just taste the grease.
So Jack,
right now.
you know, that's a kind of new thing for you. I would say like the taqueria, the little hole in the wall. Do you ever go to those?
I do. The latest one that I found that's really, really good is 410 in Ingram. I know it used to be a Crystal Burger.
Yes.
And I had Crystal Burger
Dos Robertos.
Yeah,
that place is amazing.
Chimichangas. Good stuff.
that place is good.
But yeah, you know, I've tried to break out a little bit. I mean, being more south, I'm definitely, you know, like the barbecue, like the steak. But Mexican food is getting high on my list.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Let's see, what other places are just like special here, like Magnolia Pancake House. If you've never been there, Magnolia is absolutely amazing. I mean, you wait forever in line to eat there, unless there's actually an app that you can use to kind of check in ahead of time.
Jailhouse Cafe.
Oh, yeah, we can bring up Jailhouse Cafe too.
Jailhouse Cafe.
But
and
the Jailhouse Cafe's closed, right?
It's Lulu's.
Now it's Lulu's, right?
But either way, the big cinnamon rolls.
The big
the
cinnamon rolls as big
rolls.
as your head. Those things are amazing.
Oh, they're just so good. So bad for you, but God, they're just delicious.
I can just feel my heart clogging as we speak.
Speaking of big food, Big Lou's.
Big Lou's.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza.
Oh, yeah, the pizza there. That's a good
You know,
pick.
I've never been to Big Lou's before, but I'm not a big pizza person. I'm weird like that.
How can you not be a pizza person?
I don't like tomatoes. That's my thing. It's just me, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you didn't know that, Frank? I don't like pizza.
No, I didn't. I don't like tomatoes. I get you on that, but I mean, I don't like tomatoes. Not so far as not to have like.
That's like saying I don't like pancakes. I don't like syrup.
Oh, but I like pancakes. I like Magnolia Pancake House.
That's
That's
I
good.
like plain pancakes. Anyway.
Plain pancakes.
That's just communist, sir.
It really is. Like you can have
Like,
everything.
No butter, no nothing?
No, just butter.
Why don't you just throw flour down your throat?
Hey, it's your podcast. Go.
Oh, okay.
That's true. What else? What else is special about this city that we haven't mentioned? Of course, you know, you have Fiesta Texas and SeaWorld, two great theme parks, two different ones to kind of go to. I think that they need each other. They help drive visitors to the city because, of course, we do have the Alamo, which is the #1 attraction in the state of Texas. We have the Riverwalk. I think for us that live here in San Antonio, the Riverwalk isn't really a place for us to go. It is much more touristy, but all of us have been down there. All of us have gone to those restaurants and had drinks or gone to the bars and clubs that are there on the Riverwalk. We have an amazing theater. We have the Majestic Theater and the Empire. Tons of great shows come here. They're beautiful theaters, you know.
And now the Tobin Center with
the brand new Tobin Center, you know, that's awesome. And I really like what's happening with the Aztec. So
Yes.
AEG Live is taken over the Aztec, and now they're like booking nonstop. There's a show pretty much like every other day now at the Aztec. So a lot of awesome growth here in San Antonio.
part of the revival of downtown too. You know, you're starting to see a lot more, restoration of the downtown area because they're trying to make it more modern, more lively,
Right.
more, you know, to where, you know, the younger people generation. Of course, you run into the gentrification problem, but you're still seeing a revival of the living of downtown to where we can have some kind of like more modern culture into the prospect. And I think that's one of the interesting things. I was going to bring this up to you as well. That everything in San Antonio, to me, one of the more interesting things is that everything that may seem far is not technically far. You can technically get to anywhere in San Antonio within a 20 to 25 minute range, no matter where you're at, no matter what side of town you're on. I can be on the southeast side over there near City Base, and I can get over to over here off of Huebner and I-10 in about 20 minutes, depending on the traffic, on the way that I go.
Yeah.
And that's something that's very unique to San Antonio, and yet you're covering a big scale of real estate there when you're getting to that point. This is not the case when you go to Dallas or Houston. Everything in Houston is like 5,000 miles away, and so that's one of the things that I like the most about San Antonio.
Yeah, and I mean, the city's growing. We still have our own traffic issues. Like 1604 is a mess. Always a mess. They are trying to expand upon it. I am happy to see that the city is making from Braun down to Marbach on 1604. They're actually turning that into a highway now. So it's not going to be this stop and go traffic. And I actually think it's before Braun, if I'm not mistaken. But it's really exciting to see that. But it's causing such a traffic jam now because, the city has just grown so much. There's so many more neighborhoods out there. There's so many more cars. And so you have all this crazy construction going on to make traffic easier, but it's really just kind of a disaster right now. If you get up on 1604 anywhere, Marbach, Petranco, try to go north on 1604, you're going to be there forever. And it doesn't really clear up until you get to Bandera, which is insane. That's a huge chunk of land. But you also have a lot of growth of things. This city is getting more restaurants. We're getting more entertainment value. We finally got a Top Golf here in San Antonio, and love Top Golf. It's not a special thing just to this city, but it is nice to see the city get more things that other big cities have. We talked a couple weeks ago about how they want to build a brand new baseball stadium downtown because supposedly being downtown, more people want to go to baseball games. So that's an interesting thing to see if that'll actually get built. One thing that I am very excited to see happen here in San Antonio is the new Frost building that is going to go up kind of across the street from the old Frost building that's there now, because it's really going to change the skyline. It's going to probably be the tallest building in San Antonio, not as tall as the tower, of course, because that ordinance is there that says that nothing can be taller than the tower. But it is going to be pretty freaking big. So I am kind of excited to see what the architecture is on that.
I'm interested in seeing like other skylines. I think the one thing that's interesting to me is that I want to see how San Antonio eventually gets into annexing if that's a word. Yeah. Other types of cities, stuff like New Braunfels and things like Helotes and things like that. And I want to see how that changes the dynamic of San Antonio ultimately, because I truly see in the future, and maybe not in our lifetimes or anything like that, to where we see a big metroplex between San Antonio and Austin, for instance. I can see that happening, especially with the development where they're talking about, developing bullet trains, that kind of stuff, to where we can get to here in Austin in like 20 minutes and things like that.
Yeah, we need a light rail. That's what the city needs is a light rail.
If you had the light rail system, you're talking about like closing off a big chunk of space between two cities and really like expanding the possibilities of what can we do within San Antonio as well. So it opens a big amount of things that can happen, and then then we can turn into a very major league kind of town where we can have a major league baseball team, maybe an NFL team, an NFL team. It's just that's the things that I'm really interested in seeing in the future for San Antonio, because I can see it happening. Maybe not in our lifetime though, but I think
that's the thing about Texas. If I'm not mistaken, the law is here in Texas is that a city can annex until it hits another city. So the San Antonio could actually keep annexing until we hit another city. But what happens is we'll just envelop them. So that's where you kind of have Leon Valley, you have Castle Hills, things like that. They're their own municipalities, but this San Antonio is around them. And so San Antonio, any major city can just keep annexing land around them until they hit another city. That's a state law somewhere.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, so they can keep going. So San Antonio wouldn't be able to like take over Helotes, or wouldn't be able to take over Selma or anything like that, but they could go around and take the land around it.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to keep growing.
Well, it's a good point too. I want to see more connection between us and other towns. I think that would help the growth of the town overall, because I think we're getting to this point to where we're getting sort of like a point to where, well, what are we going to do exactly? How is the city going to stay? Is it going to be a town that's always growing, or are we going to stop our growth and just sort of concentrate on what we have? And I think you have two different trains of thoughts, and within the city about how that should go.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. All right. Well, guys, I think this brings us to the end of our podcast. Thank you guys so much for sitting in with me today. Jack, buddy, always a pleasure. We will talk to you guys very, very soon. Again, thank you so much for liking us on Facebook, following us on Instagram and Twitter. Please share the page, share it with friends and families. Thanks for all the comments and everything. If you have questions, concerns, want us to talk about something, email us at GoSpursGoMemes@gmail.com. We will talk to you guys very, very soon. And as always, Go Spurs Go.
Memes.
Boom. Oh, that was the worst.
Okay.
That was horrible.